And as Mike starts in Spanish, we will start this English live, mijo.
Do you speak Spanish?
No, I only know mijo. I call it mijo.
No, cerveza, cerveza. Is it cerveza?
Cerveza's beer.
Is that a beer?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
go.
guys, come on.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Well, it's alcohol. I must know that. So we're back for another live. Welcome back, everybody. So we're talking today about the differences between working from home and working from the office. Which one is more efficient? Which one has more impact, more difficulties, challenges even? We've seen a lot of it with COVID, obviously, but everybody has their own story. So on the broker side, I know we focus a lot on the employee side during the French version, but I think now, since majority of people looking at those lives are brokers, we should really look more into the autonomous, right? So you're a broker, you're an entrepreneur. How does it affect your basically your efficiency to work from home versus the office? Jeff, if you'd like to start.
As an entrepreneur, it we talked about it in the French version, but it all comes back to your discipline and what are your objectives, right? You can work from anywhere ultimately if you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it and what are the stepstones or the milestones of whatever business you are at, right? So yes, you can work from home. Now, is it efficient? Will it be efficient? I know as an entrepreneur that whenever I'm in my own environment, when I'm at home, I will always prefer rent an office than working from home.
Why is
personally?
That, why is that?
No, just because I like to separate my space, my mind. I like to just get out of the house and be able to do my work. I will do my work at home. But I know in my mind, I like the routine of doing my walk, take my shower, and leave the house. This is my routine. This is the routine. I'm a very routine person. So if my routine, I kind of don't work around my routine, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to like it. I know it will catch up eventually. So,
but don't you think if you have already a routine in place,
yep,
that you're gonna have that exact same routine, especially if you're disciplined.
Again,
that you're
my
gonna
routine
from home.
because my routine is not working from home. I like to be my home, to be my safe place. My home is to already think about business and think about work 99% of the time. But I like to feel that if I'm home, I am home.
No? I get it. You don't.
That's how I went up.
Yeah. So
but again, it happened a couple of weeks ago. I had to work from home because of situation, so I had to do it. I had to adapt, and it was especially.
Did you adapt?
Well, I think you guys, whenever you guys were on the phone with me, I think you heard that I had to adapt. But you still have to adapt. But what do I prefer? I prefer not being at home to work.
100%. Mike, what's on your mind?
As a broker, I think that versatility is an asset, which means that you're going to have to work from anywhere and everywhere.
Yep.
And depending on the situation, you have to meet clients sometimes that it could be hours away. You might be, called to work from a hotel room. You might work from anywhere, from your car, wherever you need to. So I think that as a broker, you have to state in your mind that, yeah, maybe you'd like to, go to work every day and sit in an office somewhere between 9 and 5, whatever the case. But it might not always be the situation that's there for you.
But you see, the car for me is the work.
Right.
If the car has to be the office, it will be the office.
It'll be the office, but that's the thing.
If the coffee shop has to be the office, it will be. If if it's working.
Which, as a broker, most of the time, that's what will happen.
Exactly.
Because you might have a client you have to meet in the South Shore. Your office is located somewhere in Montreal, so you have to go to the South Shore. Client's not there yet. You go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
You open your computer. So I think the versatility is important as a broker. So you got to be able to be self-motivated, be able to work from anywhere at any given time,
Yep.
and be called to move whenever you need to move.
But at the same time, there can be so many distraction, right? and I think that's one of the biggest challenge.
So we
is-
have not exactly. Go ahead, because the question we just received
go ahead,
exactly
go ahead.
about that. Sorry. So it's we actually have Mark that was asking, do employees take more breaks? You think when working from home? You're talking about distractions and so on. Do you think breaks is also something to worry about? How can the employers, or because now we're back to employees, but in that scenario, how do we know if it's they're maybe overtaking their breaks? Or
Well, I mean, if you're working in the concept where companies are working, phone companies, let's say like TELUS or Bell or anything like that, like they have a way to calculate wrap up time to see how long you're actually online or offline or receiving calls. Like they're able to verify that whole thing. So I think for them it may not apply. For different variations of work, then yeah, I mean, if the guy's working from home as a mechanic and you don't know how long you took to do a set of brakes, you wouldn't know unless you had cameras installed to see what you were doing.
And what if we're talking about our industry? So as a broker, if you fully work from home, don't you think you'll be more tempted to take more breaks than if you'd be, let's say, on an office?
Probably anything that's going to be in the way of you distracting yourself is going to be a problem. But I mean, like, it comes down to discipline, like you said before, right? Some people have a home gym and they might not necessarily work out, but because they go to the gym, they have no choice but to work out. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
they did the effort of driving there, so might as well.
yeah, so they're like already there. So there's like, oh, might as well work out. Whereas if they're home, they might be like, I'll do it later, or whatever the case is. So it's different for everyone, I think.
So we have two more questions that came in, but first we'll be showing you a quick video of our Crown project. So Mala Group is in new construction also. Let's show you a video with more details about the project, and we'll be right back. We're back. I was scolding the marketing department.
You want to know why? Because it's the employee mindset. It's not because they don't want. It's because this is the variables that they know on their side. So they feel that
that's what we should talk about. No, exactly. So because we're asking why are the questions coming in from the public and so on more employee related, then I'm like, but we're talking to brokers, we're talking to people that want to be brokers, we're talking to right. And Jeff had a point, is that a lot of these people come from employee backgrounds and they're coming from that's what they've done their whole life, let's say their previous life. So even when they're talking about as an entrepreneur, as a broker and so on, they're still thinking with an employee mindset of like, and would I, even if I'm my own boss now, would it be, would I take more breaks if I'm home? And it's still, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because
there's a lot of brokers that hire employees as well to take care of their mechanical stuff. So that too, you might be worried, listen, I asked them to do this and that, and it takes them longer for them to do it because they're from home. You can't really gauge how long it takes them to do something.
So as an entrepreneur or as a real estate broker or mortgage broker, how do you manage your team members from working from home?
Good question.
Well, manage them. I mean, I think that before hiring anyone from any position, you should know how to do the work yourself. So if you know how long it takes you to do the work, you can gauge how long it would take them to do the same task, given that they have a similar type of skill.
Right.
So if you know that your home staging of a 3,500 square foot home takes you, 4 or 5 hours to be able to gauge it, then you know that around that time they should have it done. So if it takes them 3 days, then you have a problem. I think you have to be able to gauge that a little bit to get an idea. And I think they do that even in other industries where they have a barometer where they say how long it should take for this type of work to be done or that type of work. So you know more or less where to find yourself.
You get real.
No, I think it makes sense. But I think at the same time, it's when you do have a team, and as you said, you have to know exactly what they what they do, but you have to know it by heart. You have to be the Google of the company,
Yeah.
basically. But I think that I think it can happen even if you're working from home all the time, even when you're on your own before you have the team and so on, because I think you said it, Jeff, is that when you're forced to adapt to a new routine, let's say you were stuck, you have to be home, you have to work from home and so on. Yeah, it was, let's say, a huge disaster on background noises and so on. But you know what? If you were stuck there and forced there, let's say for 3 months instead of a week, I'm sure you found a way
Oh,
and be as efficient, proficient, and so on.
I mean, that's what happened with COVID, right?
Yeah. During the pandemic, everybody
During
was
the
home.
pandemic,
Yeah.
everybody was home, and they had to adapt and had to figure
They
it
had
out.
Zoom parties. They had all
course.
kinds
That
of.
was,
You know,
that
imagine
was a
I was
disaster.
one of my worst. I was on the pitch, 75K on the table, and my son just jumps in, and within a fraction of a second, I'm saying something. Boom! He just closed the computer.
Oh my goodness.
I do not know that person on the other side. It's not like it's a colleague or someone that I
Oh,
already.
sorry about that.
No, it was the first encounter. It was
the CEO of Coca-Cola.
It was insane. It was insane.
Well,
We
you
did
have
get
to
the
adapt.
we
You got
did
it?
get the deal,
All
but
right,
still,
that's right.
it's insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
So there's always a way, basically, right? So
Where there's a
challenges
will, there's a
will,
way.
exactly. So at least you didn't say it's all in the pudding, which is Mike's favorite expression. And on these words,